I came back to this job because I didn't like the way I left things last time around.
I'm Dr. Scarpetta. It's a fifth victim in 2.5 months.
Second chance is pretty hard to resist, right?
Is it a second chance? Or am I just looking to mess myself up again?
Ariana and Bobby, how are you doing? Nice to speak to you.
Yeah, Howard,
Hi,
nice to see
Howard.
you.
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations on the series. What I've seen so far is fantastic. I love it to bits. So congratulations on the show. Ladies first. First question for Ariana. I don't want to spoil anything, but what we see here with Lucy's character is grievance in a way that I've never seen portrayed in film or on TV before, I don't think. So I'm really curious. I don't want you to spoil it, obviously, but how did you kind of approach this grieving process that she goes through, having not seen this, not having been portrayed on the screen before?
Yeah, I think that very thing is what drew me to, I mean, aside from Jamie and this incredible cast and this guy, to want to be a part of the show because I'd never seen grief or a grief process portrayed in this way. It does have a technical element that I was like, oh, this is going to be really uncomfortable, I think. I'm personally, in regards to grief processes, a big fan of grief counseling. Right. But that's not exactly what Lucy chooses to do. And I think as viewers dive deeper into the story, you get to really ask yourself as a viewer, like, oh, is this healthy? Is this what we should be using this tech for in this way? Which is what I wanted to ask. I wanted to model this for the viewers and allow them to draw their own conclusions. But the process of shooting it was challenging. It was hard to simulate, but our incredible crew and our showrunner, Liz Sarnoff, found a way to make all of that happen, including our directors, David Gordon Green. And we established a language and a system of being able to shoot these scenes that allowed for me and the woman who portrays my late wife, Janet Montgomery, to kind of simulate what it is to create connection when it's not really there. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. It's a conundrum.
Yeah, no, connected to that. Talking of connections, Bobby, it must have been fantastic to get your son to portray the younger version of yourself. But I mean, I don't know what your relationship is like with your son, but my kid, he hates whenever I say he does something like I do. He's like, shut up, I don't do that. That's embarrassing. So I'm quite curious, who emoted who in creating this character that you portray in the show?
Yeah, well, luckily we're past the I'm embarrassed of my dad phase. He's 30 years old now. So thanks. But yeah, we've gotten him this far. But he, the nice thing about it is, while we're on the same show together, we don't actually work together because that'd be a different show. Maybe there'll be like a dream sequence sometime in the future where we do connect with my younger self. Mm-hmm. It's a little pitch there. But so I was just thrilled, and it just seemed obvious, Jake's been working more steadily and getting more and more experience. So it made sense, and he came in and read and they all liked him. And so I'm really proud of that. And, Jake doesn't have to do much to physicalize what his dad is like. He's been sort of making fun of me for years and years and years. He knows how to make my faces. And, he likes to make this face whenever he feels like I'm making like a wounded face because of something he says. And it's really, boy, that's annoying. But I've seen him do it quite a few times on the show, and he nails it every time. So I think, we got a bonus there in having Jake play the younger me.
It's fantastic to see you both on the screen on the same show.
I, Dr. Kay Scarpetta, do solemnly swear I will faithfully and impartially discharge all of the duties incumbent upon me as Chief Medical Examiner to the best of my ability. Second time's a charm.
Good luck, Dr. Scarpetta.
Obviously, the first book came out all of 36 years ago. And even the first timeline in this series is 10 years after that, 8 years after that. So I'm quite curious, for you, what was very important for you to maintain from the original book? And what were you adamant had to be updated for the new timeline to kind of make sense for today's audience?
Well, the fortunate thing is, postmortem, you're right, goes way back. That was 1990. And and we don't, the world is not recognizable, today compared to what it was then. And crime fighting is very different because technology is different. But then I'm still writing Scarpetta books. So the more modern ones are set here and now. So you're dealing with things like AI or, holograms or, robots, whatever it might be, or cameras everywhere and phones that are tracking you. And so that's why it was so brilliant that Liz is using the two timelines where you have the older story and the new story, because they're really very different worlds, because the books span almost 4 centuries. It feels like 4 centuries, and I look like that in the mirror, but 4 decades. So it's been out there a long time.
100%. I'm quite curious. So, coupled to that, Liz, so it's very, very difficult to be able to seamlessly blend two timelines together because they are so different. So I'm quite curious, what was kind of the biggest uphill struggle to make sure that those two timelines fit seamlessly, which they do? I'm just curiously, what was kind of the most difficult thing to achieve for you to make them?
I think a lot of it was really due to the casting. I think because we took a lot of care in the casting of each character because we were doubling them, that they bring some essence of the same to the role. And we were really lucky. I just think that they allow us to move seamlessly. Nicole and Rosie, you can just go back and forth between them and you don't see a different person. Mm-hmm. And that is essential to the storytelling. And we were just very fortunate that all worked.
Mm-hmm. And then couple to that, sorry.
I was just going to say, the other thing is that she was able to recognize certain things in postmortem that she could tie in with autopsy that is 20 years later, that it's like William Faulkner said, the past isn't over, it's not even past. And so everything, it's like the tin cans tied to your tail, they're following you 20 years later, and like, oh no, this can't be happening.
But coupled to that, but in terms of the dynamic, because there's so many different dynamics, family dynamics, work colleague dynamics. What was the most complicated to bring from the script, from the page in the novel to the screen?
Honestly, the characters are very alive in these books. I didn't find it difficult to translate them. It felt easier to me once I could say, this is what they're like here, and this is what they're like here. And then how would they react to the same situation in 30 years different? And that became so interesting to me. And it was interesting to the writer's room as well. We just loved doing it. And the more we went back and forth and the more the two timelines spoke to each other, the better the show got.
Yeah, no, you can tell that you love doing it. Absolutely, because it's such a fantastic show. Sadly, they're pulling me out, so thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for a great show. And I hope to speak to you again sometime soon, maybe a second season. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
If it's the same person,
then we better run and never look back. It's just not like you.
What happened with that case that made you so afraid for it to come back into question?
where is this coming from?
No secrets between us, not any.